Your call is important to us. Please hold the line.
All operators are busy at the moment. We apologize for the wait and will answer you shortly. Our operators are busy at the moment. Your call is being transferred. Thank you for calling.
Well, today's show is something I never thought we'd be talking about, but here we are. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Hotline. I'm your host, Jonathan. Thank you so much for joining us, whether it's live or on the rewatch. We're happy to have you here. Today, we're going to be discussing the return of the Queen Mary's Dark Harbor. And joining us today to break it all down are Nico of the Entertainment Connection and Gabe of Theme Park Duel. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Dude, that intro was so intense that I got soaked into it, and I was like, what are we watching? And then, us, oh God, I have to get ready mentally.
It's us.
Fun fact, y'all, Gabe was our very first live stream guest. Literally the very first live stream we did on the Hotline. Gabe was part of it. Yeah, when we were rolling the intro, I was like, oh yeah, I don't think Gabe has seen any of this, like any of the craziness that I have. But dude, welcome to the show. Nico, welcome back. I see everyone in the comments already. Thank you all for joining us. Mary, of course. Thank you. Oh, Mary. You're always staying up so late for us. I appreciate it. But yeah, y'all, we're going to discuss Queen Mary Dark Harbor. I guess my first question before we get into all the details that we know is, gentlemen, what the hell is Shaq going to do now? What's he going to do?
I'm not quite sure he's left the ship. He's probably somewhere in there just like wandering the corridor.
Oh, no.
Not quite sure what to do. He can't play basketball anywhere, so he's just very confused.
He's lost.
Just like he's chucking like iron screws or like anything that he can find in the bowels of the ship, just like.
Like the ghost hunting tourists think that those knocks are like response to the questions, but
it's just
Jack trying to pass the time with Dr. Phil like in the corner. You know what I mean? That's an old scary movie reference. Sorry.
Not scary movie.
Shaq's giving. I love it. That's the next one. 365, y'all. Thanks for joining us. And in case you haven't done it yet, be sure and check out HHN 365. They've got an excellent YouTube channel and also a great podcast, honestly. It's big shout out to them. Check them out for sure. But Diego, if anything, he's helping sponsor the event. That would be interesting to learn. That would be interesting to see if he has any involvement with it. But I guess we'll see. Rob, they put a free throw line there to keep him away.
You have to make a free throw in order for Shaqtoberfest to happen.
He's down there just sweating. It's actually like it's a pool of just him sweating down there in the bottom of the ship. Oh. All right, folks. Well, we're going to get right to it. Again, I didn't think we'd ever be doing this episode again. This came as such a surprise to a lot of us. We all had the privilege of being at the announcement event, and I think all of us were outside kind of joking, like, what if it's Dark Harbor, dude? You know what I mean? Like, we're all just kind of like poking each other and being like, and yet here we are. Queen Mary's Dark Harbor is back. The spirits rise. So we're going to go over pretty much all the details that we know about the event. And then, gentlemen, feel free to interject at any time or give us your thoughts on anything. But I do want to go through this real quick. So here's what we know. First of all, the event runs September 20th through November 2nd. Tickets are going to go on sale later on in the summer. The event is now hiring in like all positions. So if you're watching this and you need something, be sure and go to darkharborhalloween.com to apply. The icons are returning. So we know, namely, the Ringmaster, the Captain, Scary Mary. They have promised and kind of teased that fan favorites will return, and there's also going to be some new surprises. They even teased a new character in their announcement video, which was epic. We'll talk about that in a second. We also know that it's being produced by 13th Floor Entertainment Group. They were behind Hayride and Shacktoberfest, also Delusion, also Realm of the Pumpkins, I think it's called, or Jack-o'-lantern or something.
It was like a jack-o'-lantern thing. I don't quite remember the name of it.
Yeah,
I have it somewhere with
apologies. I'm not the best at keeping up with the family-friendly stuff here on the hotline.
I have a 5-year-old, sir.
I know. That's why. sorry. I that's a demographic that I have no stake in at all. And finally, we now know that they are going to be appearing at Midsummer Scream on July 27th. It sounds like they're going to have their own panel as opposed to like part of like a 13th Floor panel, which is pretty exciting too.
That much to talk about potentially. It also depends on how much they reveal between now and then.
Sure.
Because speaking to some of the PR representatives, they were saying that monthly, like up till summer, they're going to start revealing things slowly. And I think we talked about it briefly while we were there that, they're probably going to say for the best stuff for Midsummer. So, the tease of that new character, we're probably not going to find out till that panel.
Sure. Yeah, very true. Things are going to get sprinkled about, so be sure and follow us. Also, Theme Park Duo, also the Entertainment Connection. Follow us all because, I'm sure we're going to be talking about this event as the details get released. But, gentlemen, I know that okay, let me describe something to y'all real quick. So we're all sitting down. This announcement video is playing for us on the screens, right? Now, for a little technical mishap, maybe it was the ghosts on the Queen Mary, their video started playing without audio. So we're sitting there watching this reveal trailer at the event, and I'm like, okay, I see the silhouette of a captain. Okay, all right. And then, oh, damn, is that Graceful Gale? Oh, dang. Is that? And then finally it gets to a point where I'm like, oh my God, this is Dark Harbor. And then they cut the video and we were like, no. And so they restart the video. And of course, once we see Scary Mary appear on the screen, I was like, these sons of bitches, they're actually doing it, man. They're bringing Dark Harbor back. And I got so excited. There was like a notable, I feel like the air left the room at that moment. And there was like such joy after. So gentlemen, let me know, man. How crazy is this? Like, truly, that we're talking about Dark Harbor once again.
Honestly, like, since we came back from COVID and Shacktoberfest got announced, like, every time I saw, I think it was Epic Entertainment who helped produce the event before.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always on their posts, like, saying, I miss Dark Harbor. And then we got this invitation to the Queen Mary, and it had nothing. It just had a banner. It was from 13th Floor, but it was just a banner with a skull in the middle. And and it had no reference to Oktoberfest. So there was already like, oh, we're going to get a dark event again back on the Queen Mary. But then when we were on the ship and we watched that video, man, I was smiling ear to ear that whole presentation. I am so excited for Dark Harbor to be back.
It honestly just feels right for Long Beach and the Queen Mary. Yeah. And I feel like it would be such a missed opportunity if they chose not to go with Dark Harbor, or at least the characters in some capacity, because everything is so ingrained to the Queen Mary. Those characters are ingrained to the Queen Mary, and it's really hard to separate those two things. So even if they decided to go with a new event, I feel like everyone would be thinking of Dark Harbor and the characters of Dark Harbor in the backs of their head. So this was the right way to go. And that announcement was electric, dude. I don't think I heard a single person who was disappointed with that announcement. And I think with the history of 13th Floor and what they've been able to accomplish in their run of different mazes and events, across the country, I think there's a lot to look forward to, especially with what Johnny did with B340 at the end of the run of Queen Mary or at Dark Harbor before COVID hit.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. It's definitely worth mentioning right off the top, man. Once John and Plague Industries got involved with Dark Harbor, I mean, man, things really started skyrocketing, which is really fun. They did a lot of really awesome, iconic things there. So yeah, man, I love it. I'm gonna go to the chat real quick. TLEV Media, shout out to y'all. Nothing like the ambience of Dark Harbor. It's so true.
Oh yeah.
I mean, honestly, it felt like it was such a different atmosphere to Knott's, a different atmosphere to Horror Nights. It was its own little thing. So I'm glad that we're gonna get it back, especially back in that same area.
Hey, bring back those creepy Michael Jackson swings.
Oh yes, that to me is like the event visual icon. You know, Disneyland has the castle, Horror Nights has like the arch, Knott's has I don't know what would be the icon for Knott's?
Ghost Town,
sure, yeah, Ghost Town. But yeah, for me, it's the swings for sure. Mary,
Not
never
the
forget
giant chip in the background.
Mary, never forget when they tried to bring Dark Horizon to Orlando. It just didn't work here. Yeah, that was, I think it was 2019, right? They the folks behind Dark Harbor at the time were trying to expand, trying to grow a little bit, and they ended up having it. I think it was in the parking lot of the former Nickelodeon Hotel. Yeah, that looked interesting. Did you guys look into that at all for 2019?
That event felt like it was like 80% bar and 20% haunt. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
To be fair, Dark Harbor was heading in that direction anyways, man. There was like, 6 or 7 mazes and 41 bars and like Hellbound Haunt, thanks for tuning in again. I'm hoping to get a chance to go. Oh, Hellhound. I always say bound. Damn it. It's my bad. I'm going to owe you $1 every time I do that. Hellhound Haunt. I'm hoping I get a chance to go. I probably can't make it this year, so I'm crossing my fingers they continue next year. I think, yeah. Given the excitement in the room, given how involved even the city of Long Beach was, like they had Long Beach representatives at this event, which is like, whoa, this is a thing, everyone. This is like a big deal. Thing. Yeah, absolutely. I have a feeling as long as it doesn't somehow absolutely, knock on wood, tank, I think it'll be coming back. No, it won't. I mean, listen, if Shacktoberfest made it out for 2 seasons, I'm sure Dark Harbor is going to come back and be fine.
See, this is what we should be doing here. We joked about it when we were aboard the ship. Just bring Shaq, dress him up as Scary Mary or the Ringmaster or whatever it is, and have that be like the entertainment. And I think that alone will be like crowd drawing.
Scary Shacky. I don't know.
Queen Mary, Dark Harbor, more Shaq. That's even more Shaq.
Rob, for sure. I thought we were getting Dark Port. Yeah, the off-brand Dark Harbor. I kept making that joke too, where it's like they're gonna kind of bring back Dark Harbor, but it's gonna be a captain and a ringmaster and a little girl who drowned in the pool. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be all off-brand.
Hark Darber.
Hark Darber. Oh man, yeah. So good stuff. But yeah, gentlemen, I guess now that we've brought up the past a little bit, I'd like to know, especially I think I started going every year in a row. I think in 2017 to Dark Harbor because I would dip in throughout the years every now and then. But 2017, 2018, 2019 were to me really fantastic years. Like they were improving greatly. What are some things that you guys would like to see return to this iteration of Dark Harbor now that it's technically under a different production company?
Yeah, no. This is actually something I talked with Greg from Park Journey about on the way back home because we carpooled. There are just a handful of things that to me are kind of synonymous with Dark Harbor that to me I would love to see continued as almost like a tradition. One of them being the exit tunnel through one of the shipping containers with the blinding light coming at you. So you don't see the monsters running at you. And
terrifying.
There's always one above, them jumping off the walls, and it's a show in and out of itself. You always have this crowd of people watching people get scared. And for us, it was a tradition to grab food, stand there and watch. So in some capacity, I definitely want to see that. Dark Harbor was always really good at bringing entertainment that wasn't necessarily like the crowd drawing entertainment, but more of atmospheric entertainment, in my opinion.
Sure.
where there was singers or dancers or fire breathers, things that are kind of just giving this kinetic energy to the area. And then, of course, bring back the scares in the pitch black areas of the mazes. Which to me is some of the scariest stuff because it's a real environment. It isn't a man-made environment. So, for me, those are the three things.
The mazes aboard the ship have a way of truly terrifying me every single time. Part of it is because I'm always worried that the floor is going to give out from under me. So that's a very real fear above this aging ship.
I did the Gray Ghost Project paranormal investigation aboard the ship, and a lot of that actually takes you through some of the old Dark Harbor sets, like blood print hands wall everywhere, and we got to walk through some of it, and man, like some of it is creaky. Creaky at best. Like it is gnarly. But I'm sure I'll through there because honestly, that's the best part of this event is being able to go aboard that ship.
Oh yeah, man. Nico, what are your thoughts, dude?
Yeah, so I didn't realize the ship was like fully reopened last June.
Yeah.
So when the first year of Shacktoberfest, I was like, why aren't there mazes on the ship? And then the second year of Shacktoberfest, we got that one maze, but it was very it was more towards the front. It wasn't like deep into the ship like the Dark Harbor mazes were. So what I'm super excited for, or what I hope that 13th Floor does, is bring the story back of the icons like B340, Intrepid. What else do we have? Rogue, Circus. And the thing that bothered me with Shacktoberfest was the mazes weren't bad. It was just the atmospheric music from the scare zones. Like they used that audio for their mazes as well, and it kind of ruined it for me.
Interesting.
So when Dark Harbor comes back, I hope every maze has its own audio. I hope we also go inside those buildings that we did for Intrepid, because in those buildings as well is super creepy. It's it kind of feels like a catacomb.
Are you talking about that little cityscape thing next door?
The little town village or whatever.
I'm off wrong and that thing's gonna fall over. Like, I'm terrified.
Yeah. So go ahead.
I don't think it has very many earthquakes left in it. That building, man. Honestly, I think anything more than a 3 in Long Beach is gonna bring that whole building down. But
that's one air horn honk from the ship. Away from total disaster.
That's true. But yeah, no, you're totally right, Nico. I hope they utilize pretty much the footprint that they have in the past for the most part, because it was especially being in the parking lot yesterday and looking around, I was like, damn, this event was pretty big. It was pretty big and it was growing more and more. So yeah, absolutely. Do you have any other thoughts, Nico?
And I wouldn't even be mad if it was a full copy and paste of what Dark Harbor used to be.
Sure.
And 13th Floor just upgrades.
Sure.
Because 13th Floor is an incredible company. They have haunts all throughout America.
Yeah.
I would love to see some better theming.
Sure.
That's what I'm hoping for. Some good in-depth theming for mazes and story.
Absolutely. Going to go to the chat for a second here. Walker Chronicles, we are super excited for Dark Harbor. However, when we saw John Braver at the event, we were kind of hoping they were going to announce Delusion would be taking place on the Queen Mary. Nico, you walked up to me and you said something too. You were like, dude, or something similar to that. You were like, dude, John Braver's here. What if they do Delusion on the boat? I think that would be pretty cool, man. That would be pretty cool. I mean, especially...
That was all Chrissy's idea.
Oh, well, there you go.
So that's all him.
Shout out to y'all. Yeah, honestly, I think that would be incredible. Imagine to be able to use major portions of the ship for an interactive horror theater story experience. Come on, that would be cool.
Do you guys remember this thing they did for Dark Harbor? It was 1 year they did it. It was an upcharge thing, and they brought you into different parts of the ship. I never remember the name of it, but I remember being separated by everybody and put in a cage and left in the dark.
What?
Walking around in dark dress, all in black, so it felt like somebody was running past you in pitch black. It was it was terrifying.
It was kind of like a 4D-ish experience, correct?
No, it was actually on the ship.
Yeah, it was more towards the back of the ship, if I remember.
Where all the pipes are, all the heating pipes and stuff.
Yeah, I passed on that one. I was too scared.
Oh, I did. I did in a heartbeat, and I was the one that got left behind in the darkness.
That sounds pretty crazy. I wonder if it's what Ronnie Rod is referring to here. The pre-boarding event was awesome as well. Was it that, Gabe, or was it something else?
I think what they're referring to is when the captain came out and he would just pretty much yell at everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Echo everyone.
Like, I hope you wear your brown pants and stuff like that.
Kyle, interesting question here. What's Halloween events would you suggest besides HHN, Disneyland, or Knott's? I mean, yeah, Dark Harbor is definitely on the list. We'll be there. We'll be there for sure. LA Haunted Hayride's another one that comes to mind for sure. Delusion, we were just talking about that. Interactive horror theater, really awesome stuff. Delusion, you want to check out?
Wicked Lit's pretty fantastic.
Oh, okay. Nico, any other come to your mind, man?
17th
really.
Door sort of thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
17th Door is a very intense horror experience. That's not my thing. There's Reign of Terror. That's
Reign of Terror. Yes.
1000%.
Yes, Reign of Terror is definitely one to check out for sure.
Yeah, 17th Door shocked me in my butt, and that was enough for me to say, no thanks.
Yeah, no thank you. Another comment from Ronnie Rod here. We definitely want all the secret bars back again. Felt like the best adult scavenger hunt. Honestly, it was pretty fun trying to find those bars. And I think they're making a comeback, y'all, because they gave us our own little token inside of a goodie bag at the end of the event. So I think they're kind of hinting at all their secret bars coming back. So be on the lookout for those. TLEV Media, did they talk about cabanas? I don't think they talked about the cabanas, but, people seem to actually buy those every season. So it'll be interesting to see if they do make a comeback. Kind of an interesting thing to do. I don't know, maybe now that I'm in my 30s, I'm like, okay, I could see myself getting a cabana, though.
Hey, if it sits you right in front for the slider show, why not?
Oh, dude. Yeah, for sure, man. And yeah, that's it for the, let's see, Ultimate Scream update, huh? And yes, Hellhound Delusion is like a theater haunt. Definitely, it's interactive. It's performer driven. Really cool special effects and stunts. Yeah, good stuff.
Did you do Delusion last year? Out of curiosity.
Yes. Yeah. Amazing.
Did you see the paper in the window at the very, very end?
Oh, what was that?
It was like a glowing piece of paper in the window that you were supposed to look at, which I didn't, and I talked to John afterwards, and basically it was him saying like, "Yeah, I think I might be done because of how much work goes into Delusion." So we'll see if that actually is the case this year.
Sure. Yeah, I think maybe I did see that. You're right. Alex, great question here. Would any of you want some new characters or lore to be created, or would you prefer they stick to the original? Great question. What do y'all think?
1000%. I want to see this.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah, there's so much history behind this ship and so many different roles that people played on the ship. I would love to see multiple different mazes throughout the years of new icons and
they
roles that they played.
They already teased a new icon, folks.
He looked like a doctor, didn't he? He looked like
a doctor. If you guys watch the reveal trailer, that is a character that we haven't seen at Dark Harbor just yet. And so a ship doctor, man, especially if it's like a wartime ship doctor, that's going to be twisted, dude. I don't know. That's going to be the gore house for sure. So yeah, there's definitely new surprises awaiting us, which I'm very excited to learn more about. Oh, okay. Another great question from Alex. Silly question, but who is your favorite Dark Harbor character and why? Damn. I will say
that's really difficult.
I'll go first. I'll volunteer as tribute here to give you guys a second to think. I think to me personally, it's definitely Scary Mary, because a lot of the performers who played Scary Mary played it so well. I'm a taller guy, so anything I'm 6'2", anything that comes at me from below like 5 feet, I'm wrecked instantly. Or anything that comes above me, and they do that in Orlando a lot, where all of a sudden the scare's above you. I never expect it to be there. And shout out to in particular Sam, who played Scary Mary. I mean, she was truly iconic in that role. Everything that she did as that character creeped me out, but also left me like in complete awe. Gentlemen, what are your favorite characters?
Nico, you go first. I'll think about it for a second.
All right. So the Ringmaster, the Captain, they're obviously iconic. They're the easy choices. But for me, I'm going to have to go with Samuel the Savage.
Yeah.
Really? That's a different one.
Yeah. He's just a very intense character. His maze was B340. It was probably the most intense maze at Dark Harbor for me. And just the intensity of the character, the backstory of the character is just, it's gruesome, it's gross, it's terrifying. So I really like Samuel the Savage.
I want to say in 2018, they had part of his maze, maybe it was 2019, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Part of his maze, you were kind of like technically going through his brain, and it was like all these like diagonal pipes and stuff that you had to like, the funnel cake. You literally had to like climb through. It was a trip. It was honestly one of those things where I was like, wow, I've never seen this happen in a house, and it was twisted, man.
And that was John Cook.
There you go.
There we go. So, that maze also had the bridge over the engine.
Oh my God.
Had the what are like the Tesla coil things that were shooting electricity all over the place?
That's right.
They're still there, by the way, even if they were off in 2019.
But the bridge, Nico. Oh my God! So you're walking above, mind you. If you've never been to the Queen Mary, it's an actual historic ship it was like a luxury liner. Then it became a warship. Then it became a luxury liner again. It has a whole history. So at one point, you're literally walking through the engine room of a ship, which is easily 40 feet, 50 feet high. It's a giant room. Gigantic room, and you are walking all the way at the top on a catwalk, and they rigged up this catwalk so that you're walking on top of a false ground that would all of a sudden drop at least 2 to 3 inches. And as if I wasn't already scared, I think I literally feared for my life more than ever in that moment. It was nuts, man. Totally nuts.
As a man of heights, that was not it for me. I hugged that railing, and my wife had to pull me off of it. Just
you left like his handprints on the railing. I feel like there was like an evil nun standing at the very end of that walkway, so you were like so focused on her that when it happened, you're just really not expecting it. Favorite character for me. It's really hard because I feel like every single person who played the characters played them so well that it's really hard to kind of picture somebody else in those roles. They just embody that character. They do so well. According to Nico, it's an easy choice, but I would honestly go with the Captain. And a lot of the reasons why I would go with the Captain, and it's between the Captain and the Ringmaster, honestly, is because of just so much of that interaction. He opens the event, do you want to come in? I can't hear you, be louder. Monsters, do you want them to come in? And then all the monsters hit the other side of the wall. It's so good. And then just him walking around, interacting with everybody, it just takes that experience of interacting with monsters to the next level. Also, the actor who plays him just is so good and so witty and so fast that you never really know what he's going to say. And I feel like that in itself kind of embodies the humor and the style of which Dark Harbor kind of is. So for me, the Captain is really somebody that I absolutely adore. He's always a highlight. So same as the Ringmaster.
And it was so cool to have the Ringmaster come out and greet us at the announcement event too. It just felt so right. Again, I just can't believe we're actually getting Dark Harbor back for all the effort they're going to put into it, as much as what it was like in 2019. Like, they're continuing the story, they're continuing the path that they were on. Really cool to finally get it back. Let's go to the comments real quick. Diego Alba, love this. A house cannot be haunted unless it has a history. And boy, does the Queen Mary have history, man. Tons and tons of history. Rob, I would like Dark Harbor to show some love to a custodian ghost who roams the hallways mopping and causes you to slip. Hell yeah, man. I don't know. What would be the name for the custodian? We got Scary Mary. We got Samuel Savage.
Crusty Custodian.
I like it. I like it. TLEV speculation of what will be announced at Midsummer. So I think at Midsummer, I think they're going to let us know about houses, scare zones, characters, especially if they're getting their own presentation. I mean, what do you guys think? What are we going to learn about there?
I think we're going to get the new character and whatever maze is associated with that character.
Yeah.
And he's going to come on the stage and yell back and forth with the captain of the Ringmaster, guaranteed. That's honestly like the panels back in the day those were the moments that we were looking forward to, was the nonsense that happened. You know, when they announced the Iron Master, it was about the nonsense between the Iron Master and the captain.
Right.
Just back and forth. So that's what I think is going to end up happening. I could be wrong.
Nico, what do you think?
So you guys were saying like we're going to get announcements all the way up to Midsummer. So I think we might get all the returning mazes that we got out to Midsummer. But like Gabe said, I think Midsummer Scream will be all about what's new at the event. New character, new mazes, new entertainment, so on and so forth. Yeah.
I think that's an excellent call. I think that's what's going to happen.
No, I'm going to change my mind. I think Midsummer Scream is just going to be only about the bars. It's an hour of what bars are going to be at the event, what alcohol is going to be served, what kind of mixed drinks. All that's going to be talked about.
Perfect.
Just 100 slides of bars and where they're going to be.
It's the only thing people care about with a haunted event, right?
Bars and cabanas. That's all the slideshow is. Chris West, it will be interesting to see which not scare actors go back home to Dark Harbor. It's going to be very interesting, Chris, to see who goes back, period, man. There's to be completely honest and fair, there are tons of performers who lost a home when Dark Harbor went away, and they're now creating legacies at other parks. So it will be very interesting to see, who goes back, who starts new roles, what goes on there.
I did talk to one of the monsters that was roaming around who was a slider, and she said that there are a handful of the Queen Mary slider crew that will be coming back. So in some capacity, we will see some people return, but
sure,
how large of a return, we don't know.
Oh, man, the sliders were always so fun to watch at Dark Harbor, and they had, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, anybody in the chat that's a slider, I don't want to be speaking out of turn here, but it seemed like they had a lot of good territory to cover for sliding. So it's kind of, I feel like it was a fun playground for them, and it definitely showed because their shows were incredible. I mean, picture this, y'all. If we get enough of the sliders back at Dark Harbor, we could potentially now have a slider show at Dark Harbor, at Knott's, and at Six Flags. Slider shows by themselves. That's pretty fun. That's interesting.
That's pretty cool.
Come on, HHN, where you at? Bring out a slider show.
Dude, come on now. Yeah,
I've been sliders at HHN too. Is the thing. I just thought about that.
Yeah, man. Speaking of HHN, real quick, we're gonna take a pause here. Ava with a very fun question. What do you think about John Murdy posting about Alice in Wonderland again? Listen, the man loves to fuck with us, and I think that's exactly what he's doing.
Exactly. He's just trolling everybody.
He is.
And the man says anything, someone's like, he talked about going to the bathroom. Bathroom maze confirmed. That's what happens every single time. I think I jokingly, even on Nico's post on X, he took a picture and he's like, it's just a bunch of wood. I was like, carpenter maze confirmed.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we're out here starving for anything from HHN right now, so we'll take what we can get. But yeah, no, totally. I think John is just absolutely relentlessly fucking with us as he does, because that's definitely what he loves to do. Mary, that's one thing Dark Horizon had going for them. Good bars. Well, that's good at least, because at least if you're a little drunk, then you won't have to worry about the lack of mazes or whatever at the event. Ronnie, great point here too. With the history of being a warship in World War II, I'd love to see characters from that era. That's true. I mean, Graceful Gale, I think, is technically from that era.
I think a lot of them are, to be honest.
The captain, sure.
Outside of like the obvious ones that are not, like the Ringmaster and things of that nature, but I feel like Scary Mary, Graceful Gale, the captain, Samuel the Savage, I think was based on a person who died aboard
the boiler room. Yeah,
in the boiler room.
Yeah,
Hatch Henry got caught in the hatch. You know, I feel like all of them are kind of based around that timeline. But I think I see what they're kind of pointing at is like more obviously like World War II themed,
like an admiral character or something, or
that would be cool,
right, something like that, or a lost soldier or something. I don't know. Yeah, that could be definitely pretty fun. Chris West, great point here. Season pass. I would buy it immediately. I'm gonna live with this regret forever. In 2019, they had a season pass. I didn't get it. I also
really?
No,
I didn't either.
And at that point too, I wasn't really doing the whole Hauntline thing as seriously. Like I was just starting it, and I fully regret not ever taking my camera to 2019's Dark Harbor and getting footage of everybody, man, because that might have been the last time we see a lot of these people in those roles, which is sad, but also exciting because, you know, the future could be very bright for people in those roles. I'm bummed.
That was like right when we stopped doing YouTube videos because we did it for a very short period of time. And I think I joked with you guys offline that I'm pretty sure that I was the one that killed Dark Harbor because in my one YouTube video I did of Dark Harbor, I'm talking with the captain. I was like, oh, yeah, it's 10-year anniversary. What's from here? Probably nothing, right? It's all downhill from here. And he goes, yeah, it's all downhill from here. And then all of a sudden, everything
it was you. It was you.
I killed Dark Harbor.
If I could add one more thing about the whole World War II thing, like last year at Shacker Fest, we had the Gray Ghost that was on the ship. One thing I hope that 13th Floor doesn't do is the whole EDM music that they had in the second half of the ship. The first half was very well on theme. I really enjoyed it, but then when we got to the intense EDM music, it kind of lost me. So I just hope
on the ship.
No, I might as well go to HHN for that. Hang out in their scare zones.
The ones with the Z's.
Yes, the scare zones. Interesting, very interesting point, Nico. I think hopefully they will honor the legacy of Dark Harbor in that it's not like a Halloween party per se. Like I feel like the main midways, they did have a party atmosphere, which is great. I think it needs it. But then once you go into the houses, it should be scary. It should not be like, now I'm listening to Mr. Worldwide in the middle of this outside of B340, you know what I mean? Like so I do hope that they keep that in mind when they're, putting everything together for sure. TLEV Media, bring back Shipwreck. The captain steering the ship was iconic. That was a really cool scene. It was it called Shipwreck or was it?
It was called Rogue.
Rogue Shipwreck.
Rogue. That's right.
It was Dead Rise. Dead Rise before.
Dead Rise. Sorry, you're
right.
Right.
Dead Rise. Yeah.
Apologies.
Yeah. Send in the mob. That's for you, Gabe, for what you've done to us, for what you've caused.
My bad. My bad.
Alex with a very controversial question here. Are there any mazes or characters you would not miss if they were not to return? If not, are there any that you wish received more attention? That's a very interesting question. I, for one, I'll be completely honest with you, and this is no disrespect to the performer or to the storyline or anything, but
I'm about to jump. About to come after you.
I'm kind of done with the circus theme at Haunts. So the fact that there's a circus right in the middle of the Dark Harbor, to me, has never felt right. But whatever, I get it. I
understand.
I'm done with the scary clown thing. Not done with the Ringmaster, because the Ringmaster's great. I'm done with the whole scary circus thing. Even in Horror Nights Orlando, I love y'all, but y'all did it last year too. Gentlemen, do you have an answer to this question?
I mean, I feel like for me it's Half Hatch Henry and Samuel the Savage. To me, they both kind of come from the same kind of energy, I guess, if you will, and it's hard for me to kind of differentiate between the two often, and there really isn't anything much very specific about them that I could say detail wise, if that makes any sense.
Okay, Nico.
So, going off of John with wanting to get rid of circus, even if we got rid of the maze circus, we could keep the Ringmaster. We got rid of Soul, we still kept Graceful Gale.
Sure.
We got rid of Voodoo, we still kept the Voodoo Priestess.
Sure.
So even if we got rid of the circus maze, the Ringmaster would be running around everywhere. But are we going to be talking about the console that we saw in the video, or can I bring that up?
Sure.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So in the trailer, we were missing, I believe, 3 icons, which were the Voodoo Priestess, the Iron Master, and I'm just going to call him Hatchback Henry because
Half Hatch Henry.
So those 3.
Half Shaft?
What?
I think that's a different event.
The hatch singing
slasher.
But personally, when they got rid of Voodoo and they gave us Intrepid, which was the Iron Master's maze, it didn't rub me the wrong way, but Voodoo was such a strong maze. So I personally wouldn't really miss the Iron Master if he left.
Interesting.
So I think him and his maze could go. And
so you would be okay with losing Intrepid altogether?
And I liked Intrepid. I actually really enjoyed it.
Well, if you replace it with another, bring back Voodoo. Voodoo was an incredibly terrifying maze.
Interesting. See, I'm of the complete opposite thinking of you right now, Nico. I loved Intrepid, especially Intrepid 2019. I loved that journey that we went on. I was like, Voodoo can stay away.
You know what? I totally forgot about the Voodoo Priestess, to be fairly honest. I remember Voodoo, but I forgot the character entirely. So I'm like, I guess I already chose which one I'd be fine with them getting rid of.
Yeah. And, that's kind of a trope I'm done with too, personally. You know what I mean? I'm kind of done seeing that trope at the haunt events as well.
But walking up to that cathedral in Intrepid, was with the snow falling. Was an incredible sight. Yeah. So that's what I would miss about Intrepid, but
yeah, dude, that church scene was so cool, so damn cool. Yeah. Honestly, I felt like I was in a Batman movie all of a sudden. Like, and the fact that you it starts you on a train and like you go through the train carts, like that is so cool. Like I'd never seen that done in a house before, and the way that it was done there was done so well. We're actually kind of moving into the final part of what I had for our talking points for today. Just memories of quote unquote the final year of Dark Harbor, which we, unbeknownst to us, was 2019, at least under that management team or production team. I honestly, seeing that church is a vivid memory for me, walking into that scene and being like, damn. Another one for me is Lullaby, the pool scene. We talked about it, Nico, when we were on the ship. That pool scene, the way that they did kind of like an opposite laser river, where the laser river was on top of you and you're looking up, you're in the bottom of the pool looking up and you're seeing people floating on the surface of the pool. Honestly, I had never seen anything like that done before. Great stuff. Gentlemen, what are some of your memories from that final year?
Honestly, for me, it's in Lullaby, and it isn't necessarily a particular scene, but something that an actor did that stuck with me and still I think about to this day. It was right before you get to those sets of stairs, and a Scary Mary popped out and actually genuinely got me. And when you get me, I'm like, fuck, and then I'm like, and then I clap and I laugh.
Yeah.
And at that time, I yelled, fuck, Jesus. Like, that's what I did. And then she goes, just like without skipping a beat, she goes, there is no Jesus, and then back up into the shadows, and I'm like,
you just triggered
like one thing after another.
You triggered another memory for me. Because, like, you know, I'm very expressive when I'm going through the houses too. I can't remember if it was 18 or 19, one of those years. So they, at some point, you go down, because you do this inside of the ship, just because of its nature. You go down a long, literally pitch black corridor where all you can see is the other side of the corridor, the other end of the hall. And it is literally so dark in there, you have to like hug the wall to be able to navigate it. And so I'm cussing, I'm going crazy, and I think at one point I'm like, oh God, and so whoever was in that tunnel was like, God's not here, but I am, and I stopped. The tension, man, the tension. Crazy. Nico, what are some of your memories, man?
So it's funny that I want Intrepid gone, because Intrepid had some of the best scares for me. It had the opposite of Lullaby. It was the green laser river, like you see in the depths, but they had it first, and that was terrifying. And it's no bigger than a bedroom. But you have like two monsters hiding in there, popping up, scaring the shit out of you. That's an incredible memory I have. The cathedral in Intrepid. It's funny, one of the bars actually inside the ship, which was in the engine room, you go down this elevator, and it's just this huge room for the engines, and the tiniest bar. Maybe one person could stand up at the bar. Yeah. But just, you were able to walk around that room a little bit, and just like, it felt so cool. Lullaby, incredible with the opposite lazy river. Opposite.
Now we're talking.
Hatchback Henry. And then, like we were talking about, the hallways. Like, there are some mazes, pitch black hallways, you could only see the very end. There's some where they, like, on the side, they have like this little ramp that like holds the ship together.
Yeah.
But monsters would hide up top of the ramp, and you could not see them to save your life. And then you're just walking by, all of a sudden they would slide down it and scare the ever-living crap out of you.
Dude, you just not see. I feel like this is gonna happen. Someone's gonna mention something, and then you remember something.
Yeah,
I remember. I don't remember what maze it was, but it was like a very narrow hallway where you kind of had to like do this a little bit, especially like wide-shouldered people like me had to do this a little bit. And it was fairly dark, but you could see the light on the other side. But everything on this side was just completely pitch black, and there was a monster standing on the platform that's right here, up and over you, but you can't see them, and they had a flashlight. So when you get like right next to them, they're in your face, and they turn on the flashlight, and you just crap your pants.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
And then there's something. Like, how is there a person there?
Some monsters were even under the stairs that you had to walk.
Yeah, the hands came out.
They try to grab your ankle.
Bold move, dude. Bold move.
Get a broken finger.
Yeah, it was truly sometimes at times, especially the Wild West at the Dark Harbor, man. The scares that they would get you with at times, and where they would come from. It's like, are you okay? Like, hold on. I know you just had to crawl through so much shit to get where you're at. Are you okay? When was the last time you had a tetanus shot?
One thing I do not want back are the water blasts.
Oh, the water blasts. Yeah.
There was one. There was one inside of Rogue.
Yeah.
And the people in the bar had control of it. So my wife and I were walking through, and they pushed the button. It blasted her right in the face and dislodged her contact.
Oh.
And we were standing off in the corner for like a good 10 minutes trying to get the contact out of the side of her eye as monsters were trying to scare us. And I'm like, I love you so much, but please leave us alone right now.
Yeah, that's rough. That's real rough.
Damn, dude. Oh man.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's definitely some things that could not come back and I'd be happy with for sure. Or Rogue, also another one. They had us like climbing on netting and shit on Rogue.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I didn't sign up for this, y'all. This ain't
We're in a damn boot camp.
I'm not. Yeah, exactly.
Ninja Warriors, guys. That straight up, no thanks.
Yeah.
Where's the fast pass line for this thing? I just want to bypass this. My chubby butt all over that like a goddamn spider. No fucking thank you.
Great idea on paper, not so much operationally, because I'm like, yo, I'm not here to work out, bro. I'm not here to work out.
Speaking of operationally, just one last thing. Please just let people bring in water. Like, for the love of God.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Bring in water. You had to buy it. There was one drinking fountain that was like off limits. It's like, come on, guys.
Getting through security at Dark Harbor was always pretty rough, man. There was always a long line. It was just a whole to do, and the parking was always pretty tough at Dark Harbor as well. Yeah. Hell, the year that we went, y'all, in 2019, the same day that we went was the day that a whole shuttle bus, was essentially kidnapping all the riders. I don't know if you guys saw the news report for this, man. The shuttle driver, I don't know what happened. He just went off the route, and then he was just like, I'm just going to keep going. And like a bunch of hot monsters were on this bus. People were like escaping through the windows. Like he had driven like 45 minutes to an hour out of the way. The cops were called. It was a whole thing. Of course, this is not on Dark Harbor. It's on that charter company. However, what the hell, y'all? Yeah.
Dude lost his marbles.
Dude, it was so crazy. So that's a Dark Harbor memory right there, is seeing that news report the next day and being like, what the fuck?
That's a different kind of scare you don't want.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, Brian, I heard parking was expensive. I feel like I do remember it being a little pricey, especially like if you wanted to park like at the Queen Mary, like if you wanted to park there, I think it was like pretty. That's 45? Like the VIP parking, something like that.
$50.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Hans with a question. You guys ever go the wrong way and have a bunch of people falling behind you? This definitely happened, I feel like, a couple of times at Hayride, and I feel like in the past at Dark Harbor for sure. Like, what about you, gentlemen? Have you guys ever had that happen?
I feel like I see that every single haunt that I go to. I see somebody go through like one of the service entrance, like curtains where like the backstage stuff happens. I'm just like, yeah, they just go the right way. So then I'm in front of them now. I see it every year, every time I go to any event. Someone mistakenly goes through the wrong thing, and then you hear someone yelling at them.
I don't think I've gone the wrong way, but with Dark Harbor, they've had some points where they've had some pretty wide paths, like you take a left or a right, but nothing's really different if you go left or right. It's just, go around this, what is it, like grave,
like a pillar
site or whatever. Yeah. But one where I fully had to stop for a good 5 minutes, I don't remember what year it was, but it was just a bunch of shipping containers filled with fog, white light. And once you go in, you couldn't see your hand like this close to your face.
That's awesome.
So everybody was stopped, and we were all hugging the wall. And we were like, all right, I'm just going to follow the wall down. And that's what I did. I just had to look down every once in a while for these white lights, and somehow
wasn't that Dead Rise?
No, this was just like one of those little unnamed experiences.
Is it when they didn't have circus and they brought like 6 shipping containers with 6 separate like experiences?
I
think
Black
Shadow and the white spirit, and that was the one that you're talking about.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
White spirit. That was like, one.
Why does it have to be white?
Gabe.
Whatever it was, I guided a whole bunch of people through that thing.
Well, truly, like that. That's like when they say driving through a whiteout in snow. That's what it felt like when you were in that tunnel for sure. Because I think they had that at the exit of Rogue as well, where you're literally just walking, hugging the wall because you're like, I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what's ahead of me, so I'm gonna feel my way out of this. Crazy stuff, man.
Scares. It was the best scares because they would come up behind you and you wouldn't know that they were there because they were being quiet. It wasn't like a jump scare. They would slowly come behind you and whisper something. Super creepy.
All right, we're going to do a last few comments here, and then we're going to wrap everything up. This is interesting, Ronnie. Best option was to stay at a nearby hotel and Uber over the bridge. Yeah, I think ride sharing is probably going to be one of the better options for getting to Dark Harbor for sure. Walker Chronicles, I always seem to go the wrong way. To be fair, that's the whole intent of the maze anyways. So you're right on point. They're trying to confuse you. Hans, park at the aquarium and take the boat ride for $1. Interesting. We did that every year. The boat drops you off right next to the ship. Really cool experience. Wow. Okay. Cool. Pretty fun, man.
So one thing I do have to say, because I thought about it right now, something I get excited about every single time I went to Dark Harbor was at the end of the night, you're tired, you want to get home, but you smell that lingering scent of bacon cooked hot dogs whiffed past your nose.
Yeah.
You would buy one of those before you go home. I'm excited for that to come back.
Street dogs, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Oh, I can smell it right now, man. Yeah, that's good stuff, dude. Well, Nico, any closing thoughts before we wrap up our episode?
This is it's honestly, the announcement still feels like a dream.
Yeah,
I've been asking this year after year after year after year how much I love this event, and to have it finally back is incredible. I have 100% faith in 13th Floor to take over. I just really hope for that good theme, good audio, everything for their mazes. But I know 13th Floor won't disappoint. So it is amazing to have the Queen Mary Dark Harbor back.
Absolutely. Gabe, any final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, honestly, I'm with Nico there. It really doesn't seem real to finally have it come back. Since lockdown and COVID has ended, I feel like there was a good handful of people who were like, hey, did you ever go to that event called Dark Harbor?
Oh, man.
And I was like, damn, I just wish you had the chance to experience it because it was something incredibly different and special. And the thing here in SoCal is that we're very, very lucky that most of these big haunts are all unique and different.
Yeah.
And, and again, echoing what Nico said, I believe that 13th Floor is going to bring back that uniqueness and really bring to the nth degree what makes Dark Harbor special and bring us some fun new things that we've never seen before. And I have total faith that they're going to be able to execute not only fan service for us nerds, but make us happy at the same time with things that we didn't know we need. So, and also happy that people who didn't get to experience Dark Harbor now have the opportunity because it is something that is awesome.
Heck yeah, man. It's great to be talking Dark Harbor in 2024 and not in the way that we're just fully reminiscing. It's coming. The storm is heading our way. The fog's about to roll in, and I can't wait to be there again. And yeah, we'll be there opening night for sure because I don't want to miss out on the party. And yeah, the energy of it coming back. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. Nico, where can everyone find you, brother?
Yeah, you can find me at The Entertainment Connection, same name across Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, so on and so forth. I did kind of start the Horror Connection, if you want to give that a follow on Instagram. That's where a majority of my horror content will be.
Absolutely. Rob, you stop it right now, Rob. You stop it right. I see you in the chat, Rob.
Hey, Fright Fest is pretty great. I'm not going to lie. I love Fright Fest.
It is fun. It is fun. I don't know about the most unique, Rob, but it does have things that are very unique for sure. I'll give you that much.
They have a whole room covered in shit. Any other SoCal hunt have that? Nope.
Notch technically does now. One of the inside of the it's one of the chilling chambers. Gabe, where can everyone find you online, friend?
You can find everything Theme Park Duo on all social media platforms if you just search at Theme Park Duo. Of course, me and my wife, the other half of the duo, have a fantastic podcast where we talk about themed entertainment, have interviews, top 10 lists. In fact, I'm working on getting scheduled a interview with Mike Beggs, who played Death at Not Scary Farm. So that should be coming up in the coming weeks. But it's a bunch of fun, so hopefully you come check us out.
Very, very cool, brother. I love it. And of course, you can follow us at the Hauntline on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I'm sure I'm forgetting one. www.thehauntline.com for links to all of our stuff. And follow these gentlemen. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us tonight. And we'll see you at Dark Harbor. I can't wait. Have a good night, everyone.
You there.
Laters.